The streets of Minsk are no longer calm. Crowds chant, banners fly, and the sound of footsteps and shouting mixes with the echo of sirens. What was once a simmering tension has erupted into open defiance. The mutiny in Belarus has shaken the fragile balance of power in Eastern Europe. Lukashenko, long regarded as Putin's closest ally, now finds himself facing betrayal from the very leader who once guaranteed his survival. Moscow, instead of standing firmly behind him, appears to be pulling away, leaving Lukashenko exposed as his own citizens flood the streets, demanding change. This is not merely a local uprising. It is the unraveling of an alliance built on fear, control, and survival. The story of Belarus today is a story of loyalty tested, of betrayal revealed, and of power crumbling in real time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Future X USA channel. Please subscribe and like my videos because today's review will take you deep into the storm of Belarus, where loyalty, power, and rebellion are colliding in the most dramatic fashion. Let's dive in and break down what is happening, layer by layer, as if we are reviewing not just a political crisis, but a machine that is being tested to its limits. If we begin with the exterior, what we see on the surface is raw and undeniable. Tens of thousands of protesters filling the boulevards of Minsk and other major cities. The visuals are powerful, with streets lined with flags, posters demanding freedom, and barricades put up to resist the riot police. The exterior gives the impression of a country no longer under quiet submission, but instead roaring with the energy of defiance. The once carefully polished image of Lukashenko as the strongman holding control has cracked, exposing rust and weakness beneath. From a distance, Belarus now looks like a fortress under siege, its outer walls crumbling as the people pound at the gates. The betrayal by Putin adds a sharp shadow over the scene, because Russia's silence and shifting stance removes the protective exterior that Lukashenko depended on for decades. The outward shell of stability is shattered, and the exterior presentation of Belarus has become one of chaos and uprising. Moving to the interior, we look at the mechanics of the system itself. Inside Belarus, the government machinery has been strained. Loyalists within Lukashenko's cabinet are unsure where to stand, with whispers of resignation and quiet defections. Security forces who once enforced loyalty with iron fists now show cracks, some refusing to fire on civilians, others secretly sympathizing with the protesters. The interior is unstable, shaking like an old engine trying to keep running despite years of misuse. Inside the Kremlin, meanwhile, Putin's calculations are cold. He knows Lukashenko's position is weakening, and instead of providing full support, Russia's interior stance seems to favor waiting, watching, and possibly using Belarus's turmoil for its own leverage. The short truth of the interior is this: it is messy, uncertain, and on the verge of collapse. Performance is the next critical measure. If we review Belarus under Lukashenko as a performance model, the results are underwhelming. The economy is stagnant, wages are low, industries are outdated, and young people flee the country in search of better opportunities abroad. The performance of the regime has always relied less on economic progress and more on fear and control. But now, with the protests raging and Russia withdrawing its direct support, the performance rating drops even further. Lukashenko's speeches sound hollow, his promises unbelievable, and his threats less intimidating than before. The people once silenced have found their voice, and the performance of state propaganda cannot drown them out. Putin's betrayal further exposes the flaws because it shows that even the most powerful ally sees no reliable future in this partnership. The overall performance of the Belarusian regime is failing, and the protests demonstrate that the people no longer accept the outdated model that Lukashenko insists on driving. When it comes to safety features, the contrast is striking. For years, the safety feature of Lukashenko's rule was Russia itself. Whenever internal unrest threatened, Putin would extend political support, loans, or even the threat of intervention to keep Belarus secure. This external safety net is now absent, leaving Lukashenko dangerously vulnerable. Internally, his safety features included the feared KGB, riot police, and a controlled media environment. But those features no longer function as designed. The people have adapted to censorship by using digital tools, encrypted channels, and social networks. The riot police, instead of providing safety for the regime, now clash violently with crowds, creating images that inflame more resistance. Safety has flipped. What once protected the leader now endangers him, and what once suppressed the people now fuels their determination. Belarus is driving without airbags, without brakes, and with an engine on fire. Unique selling points are what distinguish one model from another. For Lukashenko, his unique selling point was his iron grip on power, his image as the unshakable, alas dictator of Europe, and his special bond with Putin. For years, he marketed himself as the man who could guarantee stability in a chaotic region, who could be the bridge between Russia and the West, and who could prevent Belarus from descending into war. But those selling points have expired. His iron grip has weakened, his bond with Putin has been fractured, and the people no longer believe in his guarantee of stability. On the other hand, the unique selling point of the protesters is their unity, their courage, and their demand for freedom that transcends fear. They represent youth, energy, and a vision of Belarus free from the shadows of Moscow's betrayal. Their selling point is hope, and hope is far more powerful than fear when it spreads across a nation. Now we must ask, what is the price? The price of this mutiny is steep. For Lukashenko, the price is his legacy, his power, and perhaps even his safety. For Putin, the price is influence in Belarus, because by betraying his ally, he risks losing control of a neighbor that has long been a loyal buffer state. For the Belarusian people, the price is being paid in blood, in arrests, in beatings, and in sleepless nights filled with uncertainty. But they are willing to pay, because freedom always comes at a price, and the calculation of this moment suggests that they would rather sacrifice now than live indefinitely under the weight of dictatorship. The economy also pays a price, with markets unstable, trade disrupted, and foreign investors pulling back. Yet behind the cost lies the possibility of a future built differently, one where the people themselves set the value of their freedom and sovereignty. Finally, we come to the conclusion. Belarus stands at a crossroads where loyalty has dissolved, betrayal has been revealed, and courage is rising. The exterior shows streets on fire with protest. The interior reveals a fractured system. The performance has failed, safety features have collapsed, and unique selling points have shifted from fear to freedom. The price is heavy, but the conclusion is clear. Belarus is rewriting its story. Putin's betrayal of Lukashenko is not just a personal rift, but a signal of changing tides across Eastern Europe. What once seemed unshakable now trembles, and what once seemed permanent now feels temporary. The mutiny is not only a rebellion against a man, but against an entire system of control that has overstayed its time. For the viewers of Future X USA, this is a reminder that power is never permanent, alliances are never absolute, and the will of the people, when ignited, can rewrite the destiny of nations. Belarus today is a lesson in betrayal, but also in bravery. And as the world watches, one thing is certain. The story of Belarus is far from over.